I heard the audience cheer. Lights so bright flashed my face. Even though I couldn't see faces, I knew my family was excited even more so than the cheering that filled the room. I had been so focused on winning the most popular international talent show in Ghana and around the world that I never paused to ask myself, what does it mean to be a star? If I had seen the future, I wouldn't have taken the celebrity route. Walk like a man, my father would yell when I was a child. And in shame of myself, I tried to do that which I imagined was masculine enough, but I guess was never really enough. Even though I never got over the horror of my daily life, it was magnified when the media made mockery of my masculinity, breached my ego as a man, and made false assumptions about my sexual orientation without thinking for a second that I am a celebrity, not an animal. Trying my entire life to prove to my family that I'm worthy of love fell through the window when it was reported in the newspapers. Gay boy wins the talent show. I cried so much. I couldn't leave my bed, couldn't step out of the house, and yet still I didn't blame the world because they have no idea what it means to be me. They criticize me for my stage performances and say hurtful things about my effeminacy without knowing how much I shake and sweat before every performance. Not because of my singing, but for fear of not being masculine enough on stage. I was teased and beaten as a child for being effeminate, but unknown to everyone, I would wipe my tears and try to teach myself how to be a man in private. Nobody has any idea what it feels like to lose your words in the middle of a sentence because you're overthinking your mannerisms. People have no idea how it feels to have a big talent, but the world hates you so much you have no option but to hide it. I pray every day for strength to be here on this earth, not as a celebrity that is not celebrated, but as just me. Okay guys, so I want us to listen to the other voices listening in for quite some time, the voice for podcast episodes, and we got in contact with. Let's listen to them.
The more you refuse to hear my voice, the louder I will sing.
This just goes to show the power of assumptions, We need to understand that assumptions are not the truth. It's just what you believe about another person. It doesn't mean it's fact, and it's normal. We all have assumptions, but once you start using these to hurt other people's feelings, it becomes a problem. Because when assumptions become louder and they become repetitive, they have an amazing ability to affect a human mind. So you have to be aware of how you're managing your assumptions.
It's saddening because just like so many people who are not as conforming with masculinity or femininity for that matter, the person was physically and verbally abused, and even after those go away, the psychological abuse rarely, if ever, leaves. So that's saddening to me because, really, there's no sense in that. There's no sense in picking on, bullying a person who is not like you, or a person who you're afraid of, or a person who you're afraid you're like.
This young man's story is quite unfortunate. We live in a society where people are not open-minded about sexuality. They often associate it with outward appearances or mannerisms. My advice to him is, no great person ever had it easy in his or her climb to success. It will be a shame for him to put away his God-given talents because he's come under the scrutiny of the general public and the media.
The piece was very well written, it was heartfelt, and I appreciate the sharing of it.
You refuse to hear my voice. The louder I will